Be less petty with your time.
Hey, welcome back to Be Less Petty TV, where it's all about being less petty with your time, space, and energy. I am your host, Kellye Howard, and for the month of February, we've been talking all things self-care. Finding ways, tips, tools, and techniques to care for the self in a less petty way. I want to dive right into this video's content, which is all about the art of forgiveness. A lot of people don't correlate those two things and say, well, I can be mad at this person and still be fine with myself. But actually, boo-boo, no, you can't. Holding on to all of those negative emotions, that resentment, bitterness, the acrimony, thanks Tyler Perry for that. That hostility, though, all of those things affect how much you can care for the self. First of all, there are proven studies out here saying that those type of emotions cause chronic illness, tension headaches, migraines, cancer. There are proven studies saying that people with certain mindsets develop certain illnesses. I'm telling you, you don't want to be one of these people because you just haven't forgiven someone for doing something. And we all know the cliche saying, forgiving someone is not for them, it is for you. I can personally attest to this, having went through infidelity with my husband. Oh my God. When I tell you I wanted him to burn, I wanted him to feel every bit of hurt I was feeling. And you could tell because I was showing up in every way. In my comedy, I was talking about it. I was doing videos about it.
Hey, babe, hand me the remote.
Ask that bitch to give you the remote.
Hey, babe, give me the plunger.
Ask that bitch to bring you the plunger.
Yo, babe, where my socks at?
Ask that bitch to bring you your socks.
Babe, dang, give me some cover.
Ask that bitch for the covers.
Babe, did you come yet?
Ask that bitch, did she come yet? I was toxic as fuck. Like, I was attacking him every given moment that I had. It was coming out on him. And that was so bad for what I wanted, because I really did want to be with him as well. I loved my husband. I wanted it to work. But I was just having a very hard time with the whole forgiveness idea. For one, I had never really forgiven anyone. I just kind of faded the black on him. Like, well, that's how you gonna be? Well, I'm gonna be over here. You ain't even gotta worry about me, bitch, because you be you and I'm gonna be me. That's kind of how I dealt with it. But I really didn't deal with it, because even though I would separate myself from people, I still had this underlying unforgiveness brewing in the back of my mind and in my heart. So it never really helped me move on and get healthy. I was still holding on. So in order to really, really love up on yourself and care for yourself in the most effective way, we have to learn to forgive people for the things they've done to us in the past. Whether it's infidelity, whether it's a best friend, whatever it is, if you decide to keep that person in your life, especially, you must forgive. And if you don't decide to keep them in your life, you still must forgive for your own sanity, okay? And this is a tough one for most people. We must forgive our parents. Yes, our parents. We must forgive them for the kind of parents that they were. Whether you had your parents in your life, whether you dealt with adoption, whether you were molested at a young age, I can attest to that. Not by my parents, but by someone in my household. If this was something that you dealt with, you must forgive these people. And you must forgive your parents for even putting you in positions where these things could happen. You must forgive your parents for not being the parents ideally that you would have wanted. Not being I was going to say the Cosby Show parents, but, well, you can see that the Cosby Show parents is different from Bill Cosby himself, right? Yeah, y'all with me on that? Okay, anywho, but you have to forgive your parents for not being what you thought a parent should be. Looking at other people and how they had certain type of upbringings, and you're like, oh, I wish I had that. The end of the day, your parents are human, okay? They make mistakes just like you make mistakes. They probably tried the best they could with the knowledge that they have. And I can only say that having an 18-year-old now, that I know I tried. At age 8, 9, and 10, I was still whipping her ass physically with a belt. I was raised on whoopings, so I thought this was the thing to do. This is how you get a kid to discipline, right? I really believed that until I met my husband, and he didn't have that approach. And I was like, well, how do you get her to act right? Well, I talked to her. Talk? As in words? Like, it was not something that I can just conceptualize. And I had to really break myself of the habit of physically hitting my child. And I can honestly say it is a better approach to have conversations and make sure that they emotionally are intelligent in certain ways and they understand why you are taking a certain disciplinary approach. That is a better way of doing it. But I didn't know that at the time, so I couldn't implement that. So when you know better, you do better. Forgive your parents for whatever they've done. I pray my daughter forgives me for the things that I've done. I'm pretty sure she's going to be in therapy in her 20s. Like, my mama did this to me when I was 10. I'm pretty sure. But I was also young and young-minded, and I just didn't have what I have today, the tools to be able to have a different approach. And now I do. And so I'm hoping she's benefiting from this part of me as well. So please forgive people in your past that have done you wrong. I'm pretty sure you've done something wrong to somebody. Well, they have to forgive you. It is just the cycle of life, okay? So forgive, forgive, forgive. All right? And a quick tip on how to do that is get yourself a book, like a regular composition book, any kind of book, and write in everything these people have done to you. Write a letter. Dear mom, dear dad, blah, 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 blah. Dear Uncle John, blah, 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 blah. Dear my ex-best friend, dear my ex-boss, dear that teacher told me who I was stupid, whatever, blah, 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 blah. Write them letters. Get it out. Write that letter out. Make sure they understand exactly what it is that's burning you. Get it out. And then burn the book. You're not going to send that letter? Come on now. You're not going to do that? Why? It doesn't serve anybody for you to let them know that they were a shit person. No, they probably know they were a shit person. It's not your job to let them know. It's your job to heal you so you can show up being your best self in this lifetime, okay? So write that book, burn that bitch, get it out your life, get those emotions out into the universe, let the universe deal with it, and you continue to live in the present moment and dream and hope for the future in the less petty fashion that you can. All right? So that is this week's video. Learn and master the art of forgiveness. It is imperative. Make sure you check back on Be Less Petty TV. Turn on your turn on your notifications. Make sure you subscribe, share, tell people about the video, of course. If you want to also submit any type of questions or anything maybe you doing in your life that's a little petty and you want to know how I would approach that, please send me your questions. If you need clarification on anything, send it to me. I want to hear from you. You can send it to belesspetty@gmail.com. That's right, belesspetty@gmail.com. Send it my way and I will definitely do a video addressing that issue. Okay? I've been your host, Kellye Howard. Thanks for joining me on Be Less Petty TV, and I hope to see you back here sooner than later. Bye! With your mind, be less petty with your blame. All that petty shit is lame. Be less petty with your friends. Love first, make amends. Be less petty with your life. Be less petty with your wife. Okay. Be less petty with your mom. Be less petty with your job. Be less petty. Be less petty. Be less petty, baby.